This is Rook with Mostly Harmless, and I just wanted to show you some of the great things that the developers are working on. The game goes to launch or next beta, I guess, but it's like launch. It's like a fresh new game in just a few days here, about 5 days away now. And we want to show you just all the new weapons. It's just a general overview, walking through the Destiny table and stuff. Hoping to have some B-roll footage at the end from the developers of what the weapons can do at high levels and stuff. I'm here in the steppes, one of the new biomes and stuff. You can see there's some Morgana uh, mobs here and stuff. To the west of me, there are some um, of the Impalas, the tier 2 sort of hide mobs. There's some Moa birds, tier 3, and Cougars, tier 3 as well. They get up into higher levels, of course. And let's just take a quick look at the map. All the bigger guilds know this at the moment, but I just want to make sure that the smaller guilds have a bit of a chance too. If you haven't been on with a legendary founder pack from someone in your guild checking, all the harbors are outlined. They have these cool lines that show you where they go. And it's pretty simple, basically. The ones from the Queen's Island, this is the Queen's Island now, sort of cover the western part of the Outlands, and the ones from the King's Land sort of cover the east part over here. So nothing too surprising there, and all the big guilds already know that. The map just looks awesome. It's got all the roads and stuff developed, all the territories in, cities developed. There are some neat points. There's connections between the upper outlands and the middle island outlands, and they've all got time zones defined for the whole world, and that's really important to the main guilds that are going in, that they get into a time zone where they can do their guild versus guild fights for those 4 hours that it's available. There's going to be a lot more open world fights in the new world. The movement of tier 2 resources around the world is going to be a huge part. The economy is just going to be rocking because of the need to move things around from between different biomes. It's very, very cool what's going on. But what you want to know is, for people that couldn't get on and check things out just yet, we'll just walk through very quickly. There are two offhands here in this section right now. The Tome of Spells is a cast time modifier, and the Eye of Secrets is an energy regeneration bonus. Note that these do not have an additional passive anymore. The offhands just have one skill and one skill only. The curse staffs are fairly similar. The new life curse staff is the newest one. It's the one with the enfeebling blades. Very useful for also reducing attack power by 5%, and it stacks. So put that on a tank, jump them in, have some fun. It's going to be a good potential weapon. All the curse staffs, of course. In fact, everything in the game is strong. There's not, a year ago you might have been saying, don't play the spear. It's not very good. The spear is good. The mace is good. Everything is good in the game now. It's all fairly balanced, and they each have different needs. Every one of my guys is like, "Oh, this is amazing! I just tried this out." They're not saying, "Oh, this is terrible." It's everything is amazing. Everything is the best weapon. Everything should be tried. So it's a good problem to have. And as you may have heard in the other video, when you level up curse staff, you level up all of them. So as you get up to higher curse staffs, you're basically unlocking all of these. You can specialize in them. It's great. It's the way it should be. Gives a lot of flexibility as you level, and it's going to make the game a lot more fun. Do note that the abilities, I'll show you more on the bow later, but some of the abilities don't get unlocked to tier 6 or 7 or 8, so things that you might have been used to on tier 4 before. Frost Staff just had a recent buff. Oops, here we go. So it's looking good. Well, actually, the Glacial was not nerfed, but they sort of put it in on par with other skills and stuff. But the Frost Staff was hurting, and it's doing okay at the moment with the increase in the I think the hail's an instant cast right now. Other people know this way better than I do. I'm afraid I'm just sort of relaying what I can to have some fun and help out the game and our guild and the alliance. We also like to help out the community as well. The arcane stats, I actually haven't looked at this one to see what. Okay, so it's got the option for the black hole, um, and the usual sort of purging effects and stuff. So no big surprises there. The shields have changed. I believe now the shields all work with the healing passive as well too. So if you give a better heal bonus from your light armor fit to healing, then you'll get more shields as well. So that's something to consider. The Was it the Great Arcane? Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. So that was different. Um, Now it just creates the shield. It does not give you the black hole option unless you go to the Witchwork staff. So, okay, fair enough. Uh, excuse me, sorry. Not major changes there though. However, there are major changes on the Holy Staff. First of all, the W has an amazing number of abilities, from Resurrection to the Sacred Pulse that was introduced that heals people around you. Holy Beam, of course, is a standard. Enlightenment, which increases your move speed and healing power and stuff. And then the Divine Protection is a new shield. So I think your Guild Wars 1, when you were able to have the Protection Healer, this might be that person. And when it collapses, it still heals people around it. So pretty cool ability. Other stuff is pretty much the same. This one being a bit different, that you can do a channeled heal. I think of this as like the paladin or somebody, because you got to be up close to the fight or up close to the person taking damage. So something to think about there. Fire staff. That's all still just as good as it was before. Lots of nice abilities, good burn passives and stuff. Flame Pillar is a nice new one on the Great Fire Staff. No meteor and stuff at the moment, but it might appear later, of course. All of this is under development. All of this is changing all the time and getting better. So don't worry if you don't see something you're looking for just at the moment. Just gonna pause for just 1 second. So, in addition to all of that, we're getting into the hunter's line here. The torch is what's showing here at the moment with the attack speed bonus. I believe the horn will be introduced soon, which has got a move speed bonus. That's going to be really neat. Um, the quarterstaff, there's this monk staff that sounds amazing, and it looks like the Klingon glaive. Like it's just, uh, can't remember what those are called. Um, Anyways, dash towards the ground target, pull all enemies on your way with you, reducing their crowd control resistance and dealing damage. So again, the nice thing is you got the problem of which awesome weapon do I choose? If you didn't hear already, the quarterstaff has a taunt, and of course it still has the heavy cleave and stuff. The stunning strike, every 5 normal attacks, your attack stun enemy for 109 seconds. So certainly some neat skills there still. The usual stuff with these. And let's get to daggers. Now there's other people in the guild that are really good experts on these. I think it was more at the high levels they were talking about something that was just amazing. The throwing blades, I know they liked throwing those out and giving a damage buff and a movement speed buff. Like it really makes you very assassin-like. The forbidden stab, sort of like the previous one there, and of course the sleep is an interesting one as well. I think that was that. Of course, there's the option with a lot of the blades to do some kind of bleed. That's, I think, pretty much the same. So not a lot of changes that way. The relic item being an item where you dash towards and do damage along the way. So it looks fun. And Nature Staff, always a fun choice. No real changes to the Nature Staff. It's still working as it was before in terms of AoE and heal over time stuff. Oh, there was something. No, maybe it's just the protection of nature. I'm not sure now. I'd have to ask one of the healer guys. Now there is a difference here. So the glaive, which was in the sword line, that's the one with the toss, has been moved to the fling, has been moved over here to the pike line, and it's got that forest of spears and some other stuff. So that's a big change there. Pike is still fairly similar, but it has the rooting smash, the old halberd one, instead, and it's the elder spear that's got the charge still. It does not have the charge for the W anymore for the potential speed boost because it was just maybe a bit too fast. I think it might still be available on the tier 3 one, not the tier 4 though. I'm just checking just in case. So that's pretty similar. There should be a relic one introduced there sometime soon, I believe, which will show. Um, just double check this. Yeah, it's got the charge still there. So at the tier 3 level, you got one of the fastest items in the game. Um, but it's still very mana heavy and stuff. So yeah, there should be quite possibly a another spear item, and it's got the pull, that old harpoon that you loved so much on the pike. I believe that's still going to be in the game at some point in time. They're just balancing things out. Now, just notice with the bow, um, there's a couple things. The Q, there's no multi-shot on the Q at the lower levels. You have to get up to the tier 6 level before you get to your multi-shots. So that's the case with a number of the items, that there isn't that ability to do that until later on. Notice with the Whispering bow that you've got the potential to increase your auto attack range by 50%. So that's pretty amazing, especially once you put that with. Oh, I was wrong. I thought there was still the bonus to attack range. So the other abilities are all what you'd expect for both the warbow and the longbow, so no big changes there. Let me just check something here on the passives. Okay, so there are some damage passives and stuff, but there isn't that range that there was before, potentially. Okay, so that's good review for me. I think. Okay, so they do have the other shield here. All the shields generate threat. Just note that that's going to be a problem for you as a healer. You're great. I'm in PvE. I already generate a lot of threat as a healer. I do a little bit of damage too, just to add to it, and now I'm generating threat with that shield that's keeping me protected for PvP. It'd be nice if you could turn off the threat generation bonus, but the shield is still a very good item. So just be aware of that. It is going to make those one-handed items potential for tanking. Oh, you got to see this. So with the crossbow, there is now this Elder's Weeping Repeater. So it's got an explosive mine that you shoot into the ground. It will deal damage upon detonation and stuff that within a fairly large radius. It's got a nice range, nice cooldown and energy. I mean, it's like a lot of things that you like to have things that you can do direct damage to people, but that's the trade-off, right? You've got this neat thing where you can possibly have some zone control, possibly do some damage, and I believe that one was a one-handed item, just like the Elder's Light crossbow, which is a one-handed item. Could totally be wrong on that though. People can correct me in the chat there. Really appreciate any help that way to clarify things for people that are looking for these answers. So um, keep in mind, like the heavy crossbow is still that sweeping bolt, which is awesome, and the Elder's crossbow, I believe, is still the snipe shot. Yeah, so that's always a good thing. Still has the thunder shot, which is good. And I think it's the light crossbow, the one-handed, that's got that exploding shot, which could deal some damage if it's not cleansed off. So kind of got that, cursed damage kind of feel. Hammerline is still pretty similar, although if you didn't hear already, the Great Hammer no longer has the get large and tanky and hit people for lots of damage. It's a ram, so that's going to do a little bit of a stun to everybody along the way. So, but it spreads people apart. So I like the idea, but I don't like the idea of spreading my enemies apart. I'm usually trying to clump them up together. So, but these abilities are the same on it, as are these. So those are the same on the different hammers. The Tomb Hammer, the sends out a wave in front and roots somebody for quite possibly a very long time. So it's got some potential that way. And let's check out here. Mace has had some significant changes. So for instance, the flail had already had the root, but now they've added the pull area, and the pull area works correctly now. It's bringing people in, not just close to you, or not necessarily sometimes moving them and sometimes not. It is moving people in, and it is moving them all to the same spot. So potentially awesome. It is a 30-second cooldown, so you can't use it all the time, but it's potentially awesome. However, it's so awesome that it's only on tier 8 of these maces. It's not on tier 6 or 7 or anything lower down that you're actually going to possibly have. It's on tier 8. And if you hadn't heard already, that those resources are pretty limited. You kill a dire bear and you get 1 piece of leather. 2 because you're on premium, maybe 3 if you got a gathering bonus, but these will be rare items. The single-handed mace, the silence, um, certainly pretty neat and certainly effective. What's nice about it too is that it's removing active buffs on the enemy, so that can be a game changer. It's got that 20-second cooldown though, and you still have the polarity and stuff, but you don't have that on. Let's just double check here. This used to be my favorite item in the game. This is good. This battle howl generates threat on all enemies hit. So very nice for tanking. It was an issue before you need to do damage to do any tanking with the changes, but this will still work now. And they did that same thing with the root, so it generates. But you notice how there's no pull area on the tier 7 at the moment. So it'll be a while before you get to use that. Axe line. Biggest change here is that the scythe is not here anymore. It I believe is going to be moved to. Well, I'm not sure. We'll get an update anyways. I'm sure all of us in the game as to where it's going to go. You do have this relic item, and actually this is the relic item, I think. Yeah, the Morgana Raven sends a transcendent raven in a straight line, dealing damage to all enemies hit. Additionally, causes the target to bleed over the duration of the bleed, and healing is reduced. It looks cool. It's amazing looking, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, the axe line, always a fun line. The halberd has been moved over here, and it's got that rending swing, so it's sort of like the old scythe, and it looks neat. I think that's, oh, and what everybody's looking forward to, dual swords. The claymore is of course still there and still good. It's still a lot of fun. It's that charge. It's what was already changed in the last thing. Hamstring course for nice long slow. Don't forget. I forget his name. It starts with a K. He just did a nice video on the dual swords, and he was talking about how the taunt interrupts casting now. That's an important point. Maybe it's been in for a long time, and I have no idea, but it's really cool. He did a very good video about the dual swords, and I'm going to give a shout out to him below as soon as I remember his name. But the claymore is going to be a possible fun weapon. The broadsword, of course, and dual swords. What's fun about the dual swords is that spinning blades. It's a small area, but wow, the fact that it does good damage and it does 5% of the mass of the top full health and stuff is going to be cool. So I think this is the potentially the new dagger fun that everybody likes to be daggers and go in and have a lot of fun. So Clarent Blade is similar to the one-handed sword and works like that. There's not a lot different from the other items, but any of these relic items are about like 10% better, so they require more gear and stuff. But this tier 8 is like a tier 9, and as you move up into higher quality levels, then they're going to be that much better too. So lots of fame required, of course, to get up in the levels here. You're going to start not with this many LP. You start with a lot less LP. They have changed that to try and keep things in perspective and make it an enjoyable game. Crafting and stuff is done and changed a fair bit, but I'll let Sonari make up one of her great guides to talk about that. Oh, and look at that. There's sunset. There's different timing. The shadows change. The lighting changes. And that's available as well. So, couple things just to wrap up and stuff that we put out a few videos because we love the game, and we're certainly trying to help out our guild and alliance just a little bit, help the community a bit. We try to help the community with our guides that and other people are putting out. Elsa and others are just really collecting and putting together really great guides. And Nosferatu, I think, from Wild Wild West is going to put out some more. So there's some things going on that way. We don't have time to train new players. We're very focused on our own players and stuff at the moment. But please do consider us if you're further along in the game and need a change of pace to a good group of team-oriented, experienced in Albion Online who play a lot and like to PvP and socialize a bit too. Of course, about 12 of us are going down to PAX South in end of January now, so we're gonna have a good time there. And we just got our T-shirt order in for Mostly Harmless shirts. This is the old one from 2 years ago, that when we did it last time. We're just doing these at cost just for fun. Um, I gotta get Albion, when you guys first select, when you get to it, I know you got a lot of things on your plate, but we need a poster. Not us in general. I mean, the community is gonna want a poster of the New World map. It looks so cool with all the places and stuff and roads and links. It could be a beta 2. It doesn't even have to be the final one. It could change, and you can sell it again. Of course, Albion T-shirts and stuff would be cool to get, but like in Eve, I think you can sell maps like that and have a good time with it. It's going to be some neat paraphernalia that people that us fans are certainly going to enjoy. Um, and I think that's about it. I mean, all the big guilds, of course, probably have all this information already, but I'm really hoping that the smaller guilds that enjoy the Royal Lands and stuff have a great time there. It looks really good for just relaxing. It's mostly sort of yellow zone with just a bit of red zone and then some unrestricted PvP areas. And myself looking to go out in the black zones and have a riot. Like it's just going to be a blast out there. So nice that there's both those options. Looking forward to seeing how the time zones work out, if that provides lots of combat or not enough flexibility. I think it's actually going to work. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I think First Luck's got me convinced now that this is going to be a neat change, and looking forward to that. And I think that's about all my notes. Wish I had more to share and stuff at this point in time, but did want to get this out with launch just a few days away. This is Rook with Mostly Harmless, and we'll see you out on the battlefield.